Women's rights advocates have gotten quite a crowd outside of BBC headquarters to say, couldn't you just pick a woman who doesn't have these kinds of allegations?
This is not just a story about football. This is a story about what happens when a woman is too good, too powerful for the system built to contain her. Her name is Barbra Banda. Born in 2000 in the dusty street of Lusaka, Zambia, where footballs were bundled plastic bags and dreams burned like wildfire. Barbra Banda learned to run before anyone could tell her to stop. In a township where football was for boys and girls were told to stay home, Barbra didn't listen. Barefoot on dirt pitches, she battled boys twice her size, learning to move fast, think faster, and never apologise for her strength. Her mother pushed school. Her father, he was her first fan, roaring from the sidelines. The day he died in 2014, Barbra was at training. She didn't stop. Every goal since, she says, is for him. But before the captain's armband, there was a brief pivot. Inspired by Zambian champion Catherine Phiri, Barbra stepped into the ring at 14. Gloves on, fear off. 5 fights, 5 wins, all by knockout. Coaches said she punched like thunder, but the pitch called louder. The ring taught her footwork, timing, fearlessness. Every goal since carries a boxer's jab. At 15, she was called to the Young Copper Queens, the 2014 COSAFA U17 Championship, Zambia's first title. 10 goals in 5 games, a record that still stands. The world blinked and almost missed her. 2 years later, at just 17, the senior Copper Queens came calling. 2016 debut versus Zimbabwe, goal on her first touch. 2018, the youngest captain in Zambian history. At 18, Barbra vowed to go pro, no matter what. She stormed into Zambia's Green Buffaloes FC and became a force. By 2018, Europe called, EDF Logroño in Spain. She became first woman Zambian footballer to play in Europe, facing giants like Barcelona and Real Madrid. The girl from Lusaka stood tall. Then China, Shanghai Shengli in 2020. Barbra Banda wasn't just a local hero anymore, she was a global striker. Enter Tokyo 2021. The Copper Queens, Zambia's women's national team, arrived with little fanfare and even fewer expectations. No big sponsors, no billion-dollar infrastructure. Just grit, belief, and a dream that burned hotter than the Tokyo sun. Their first opponent, the Netherlands, the reigning European champions. Analysts called it a mismatch. But Barbra Banda didn't read the script. She tore through the Dutch defence, a hat-trick on the world stage. The scoreboard read, Zambia 3, Netherlands 10. But it didn't matter. The world had just witnessed the rise of a phenomenon. Next, China, desperate for redemption. Again, Barbra stepped up. She buried 3 more goals, another hat-trick. Back-to-back, unstoppable, historic. The first woman in Olympic history to do it. For Zambia, it was more than football. It was identity, pride, a declaration. Africa's daughters belong here. The Copper Queens didn't make it past the group stage, but Barbra Banda made sure the world would never forget their name. She walked off the field with her head high, drenched in sweat and legacy. In the stands, you could hear it, fans chanting from across continents. That moment changed everything. In just 2 matches, Barbra Banda transformed from a name on a roster into a symbol of what was possible. She wasn't just scoring goals, she was rewriting history. Then, the dream cracked. In 2022, the Confederation of African Football ruled Barbra Banda ineligible to play in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Not for doping, not for cheating, but for her natural testosterone levels, linked to differences in sex development. The same player who dominated the Olympics just a year before suddenly failed a gender eligibility test, a test no one could explain. The contradiction was staggering. If she was eligible enough for Tokyo, how wasn't she eligible for Africa? Officials pointed fingers in every direction. CAF hid behind medical regulations. And FIFA? Silent. Shielded by policies written in 2011, long before science or empathy caught up. Online, the noise grew vicious. Tweets turned cruel. Arguments turned into protests.
Save women's sports! Save women's sports! Save women's sports!
Women deserve their own fair sports. Women deserve to compete in their own category.
I mean, what's she supposed to do? It's the way that she was born. Some people get born and they're, 7 foot tall and they make fantastic basketballers, and they're going to kick my little white tush every time on the...
No, I don't.
She was too strong, too fast, too much. Critics called it fairness in women's sport. Barbra called it discrimination. She wasn't alone. Caster Semenya, Duty Chand, Annette Nagesa. Women born different, punished for excellence. The line between woman enough and too woman keeps shifting, decided by people who rarely look like them.
People criticize, people say all kind of different things, but we just have to focus because we know where we are coming from and we know what we want to achieve.
Barbra stayed silent. Cameras chased scandal. She kept training, kept scoring. For her, silence was resistance. In 2024, she returned, stronger, wiser, fiercer. Signing with Orlando Pride in the NWSL, Barbra unleashed 13 goals in 18 games. There she teamed up with Brazilian legend Marta, a partnership where real recognise real. Their chemistry, electric. Banda's power paired with Marta's vision, a duo that redefined the Pride's attack. She said it best, "I'm a goal machine," and she meant it. Crowned CAF Women's Player of the Year, the same system that once policed her body now had to celebrate her excellence. And that contradiction, witnessed by millions, amplified the question: who gets to decide the rules of womanhood? Barbra's story towers beyond the pitch. It's for every woman told she's too ambitious, too muscular, too different. It's about identity, fairness, and who gets to define womanhood. Her Copper Queens family? They fight for her, and for all of us. From the dusty pitches of Lusaka to rewriting Olympic history, from exclusion to NWSL dominance, Barbra Banda forces us to ask, in the women's game, why is power punished before it's praised? Because Barbra Banda was never too much. She was, and is, exactly enough.